AOC, who I think is very talented in her messaging, and I disagree with her policies wholeheartedly, at least the vast majority of them. But she came out and said that it's time to rein in the media. Let's listen to this clip, and then we'll talk about
it. Several members of Congress in some of my discussions have brought up media literacy, because that is a part of what happened here. And we're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation. It's one thing to have differing opinions, but it's another thing entirely to just say things that are false. And so that's something that we're looking into.
All right, so cute, but not smart.
She's looking into?
She's looking into. Don't worry.
She's on the case.
But again, first of all, nearly the entire media apparatus is on your side. And you're saying that they need to be better trained, educated. They need to be better disciplined, whatever the term that she used was there. But I mean, first of all, are we talking about the same world that we're living in, where you guys get propped up and everything that we do is wrong? And I'm not putting myself in any category, but anyone that's different than you, which there's a lot of people. That's a scary thing, because there's been all sorts of this lately. The verbiage has been slightly different. The outcomes and the end game's the same. Hillary Clinton saying people should go to jail, tried civilly for saying things that are deemed by her and her party to be misinformation or hate speech. People, like AOC now coming out and saying that we need to have a better media, a different media, and people need to be censored or held accountable. You tend to pick up on these trends, right? And the Harris-Walz campaign has had their own ideas on all of this. It's just remarkable to me, sticking with everything that we've already been talking about here, that anyone would support this. Take Trump's name out of your head. Guys, we're talking about in this next election, a very, very important election, but we're talking about the next 4 years. Now, I would argue if Kamala Harris, one of the least qualified candidates in the history of politics, Tim Walz, who's disastrous in his own right, win, this could tip the scale to a point where all of a sudden you guys who are anti-Trump might start to feel the pain even more than most of us are feeling now. And it becomes the us versus them. It already is the us versus them, but that gap widens and who's in the us shrinks. Trump was never a dictator. Trump was never an authoritarian. I've never been to, I say this all the time so my people know, but I know there's lots of new people who are coming in. I've never been to a Trump rally, never bought a MAGA hat, shirt, any of that stuff, sticker. Don't want to, never will. Loved some of his policies. Think he's made plenty of mistakes too. But I know for a damn fact that 4 years of Trump and then whatever comes next is better than 4 years of this compounded on what just has happened the last 3.5 plus. The country cannot survive it. So people have got to get over this. I can't believe it. There's people. So you'd vote for a felon? Stop it. That's cute. If you think that any of the, we say this all the time, and this would be good for you to hear. If there was anything that actually would stick for real on Donald J. Trump, like really stick, not a paper, felony indictment, not a paper this, a paper that, something that would really stick, get him off the ballot, put him in prison for sure, locked up, ready to go, even if it wasn't that good, but they thought they could get it there. The establishment would do it. The Republicans and the Democrats alike both hate him. DC hates him. Big money hates him. Big pharma hate. All these people hate him. And they've had 8 years to do something. If they could have done it, he would be done. But you can't get anything to stick because there's not anything really there. And that's how I look at it, because I'm not some huge Trump guy. But I look at it like, well, I liked life better under him. And I know that you guys, the establishment and people in DC on both sides, are utter trash who lie to the American people and hate the American people. I know that you're saying all these things because logic says you're concerned and scared of him, which they've said, we can't let this happen again. What? We can't let what happen again? The economy prosper, national security prosper, foreign policy do better, have foreign wars not start, all the things that you thought would happen, but of course didn't, and they all went the right direction. I don't think it takes supreme observation skills to look at this situation and say, okay, he might offend me. He might trigger me. Gosh, I hate that word. It makes me want to vomit just saying it. But he might trigger me with some of the things he says because he's not presidential in your view or whatever. But things are still better than they are now.
Whether you live at the beach, are going to one, or just want to imagine yourself there, Red Beach Nation has the comfy, patriotic apparel for the occasion. Founded by a former counterterrorism officer and war veteran of both the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, Red Beach Nation is committed to upholding the American values and principles that we all hold so dear. So grab your swag and rep the nation. Visit redbeachnation.com and use the promo code on your screen to save 10% off. Again, that's redbeachnation.com.